Hello and welcome to the Alula webinar. Today we're talking about Concord 4 takeovers with the Bat Connect. Before we get started, I just want to give you a brief introduction to Alula. We are partner focused. We work exclusively with professionals. We're vertically integrated, so we offer the full solution from hardware to interactive services. And we're the technology leaders. We're constantly innovating and bringing you new features and benefits. And that's one of the ones we're going to be talking about today with the Concord 4. But first, let's meet Dave Mayne. He's a familiar face and voice to all of you who have been on these webinars in the past. He's got more than 20 years of experience in wireless device networking. He worked at Digi International, GE Security, and Interlogics, as well as Gibson Guitars and Itron. He's launched 3 interactive service offerings through partnerships with Alarm.com, iControl, and Home Assurance. He served as general manager of the Interactive Services Division of GE Security. He's been issued 5 patents and joined Alula in April 2014. Dave, so glad to have you here today.
Glad to be here, Kevin. I always love doing these, and I look forward to chatting one-on-one with everybody after the session's over here.
Yeah, Dave, and I think this one's really special for you. We just talked a little bit about your resume, and you were actually involved in the launch of the Concord. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, the Concord, I was back in the GE Interlogics days in the late 90s and early 2000s, and it was at that time that we brought Concord and Concord Express to market. So I ran product management at the time. I probably met a bunch of the people who have been installing that over the years back then. It was a great workhorse panel, had a lot of good traction, especially as you get into kind of builder markets or some of it did a lot of the early home automation types of features for a traditional panel. I'm really excited to have that kind of come back into my life here now at Alula. So very fun day.
Yeah, David, almost is like coming full circle because now you're taking those panels that you helped put out into the market and we're going to make them so that they last long into the future with our new Sunset technology. So how does this work?
Yeah, the Bat Connect, I mean, Concord is the latest panel that we're adding into the family, but the Bat Connect is a communicator that will hook up to the key bus. In this case, it's going to hook up to the Superbus connection on the Concord panel. It'll also hook up over the tip and ring phone line, and we capture not only the alarm signals, but provide full interactive control, all the way down to managing users, managing zone names, and beyond that, as you mentioned at the beginning, we're focused not only in intrusion, but we bring in automation, home automation capabilities. We can add Z-Wave devices. We can add cameras. All of these can be brought to really give a facelift to any technology and have a consistent user interface. And if you have a mix, if you've been in this industry a while, you probably have some Concords. You might have some Vista panels, maybe some DSCs, somebody you acquired. Most of our partners have a mix of products. And the beauty with Bat Connect is you can have a single SKU, a single product on your shelf, a single product on each of your trucks. And when you go to do a service call, when you're doing a Sunset upgrade, you're going to have a product that can hook up to any one of these systems and provide that consistent user interface and bring you the opportunity for new increased RMR through all these other services with automation and video. So a very powerful tool, and in the world of Concord, it is just a natural and very simple product to add, and then again be able to really bring a lot of new capabilities that didn't exist when we launched this 20 years ago.
And we're going to talk about those new capabilities that we're able to upgrade on those original Concord installs. But you mentioned that this is really a universal communicator, the Bat Connect. You can see there under Interlogics, Concord 4, but that's just the beginning of the story. These are all the different panels that it can take over, and so talk about the benefit of having that one part on a truck.
Well, we're all about trying to manage cost of ownership, as you know, Kevin. Cost of ownership means not only how much you spend on equipment, but how quickly and efficiently you can install it, and then how much you can do to service that without having to roll a truck. And so in terms of keeping a single SKU, that simplifies things for all of our partners. We sell a lot of these through our distribution partners. Wherever you buy it, there's a good chance they carry our products there, and you can pick up a Bat Connect. Obviously, it's easier to keep things on the shelf when there's one part that you really need. As you bring this through your system, stocking these on the truck you're always going to know that you have the right part to complete your installation and complete the job. I think more importantly, though, once it's installed, we do automatic firmware upgrades. We do all of these upgrades remotely. It'll check in every day for any of the latest features or capabilities that we add to it. And if you happen to have an issue, whether it's with the communicator or the panel itself, it's reported right through our Alula Connect management portal, and you're able to remotely diagnose, remotely resolve most issues, or if you have to go on site, you're going to have the insight to do that. This chart here that you shared, Kevin, this gives a list of all the panels we fully integrate with. When I say fully integrate, it is full bus control, user management. We even have virtual keypad control on the bulk of these, and then simple icon-based arming, disarming, zone control, zone names. All of those features get added in. But if it's not on the list, we also support tip and ring connections for alarm signaling. We can do key switch arming and do simple icon-based arming on any of those panels. So with this product, we can really take over or communicate with any panel that you're going to run into in the security market. And in the Interlogix world, I think we talk about it a bit later, we even have a special product for the Simon panels. So any of you Interlogix dealers out there, we have options for all the panels, the NX, the Concord, and the Simon panel.
Absolutely, and the universality of this product is one of its key differentiators. You're not going to find that from a lot of these other brands. They are much more specific in their uses. We try to be able to cover the entire universe that you're going to find out there in the field. But that's not the only differentiator. There's a lot of other reasons to choose the Bat Connect. Dave, why don't you start taking us through some of the advantages it has over some of the other communicators you may find in the market?
Well, I think, a couple things jump out at me anytime I open the hood of a Bat Connect. First off, it has 3 paths of connectivity. Every single device has a cellular radio, and the cellular radio, you're going to find out, is 5G ready. It uses what's called Cat M1 technology. I think we discussed that a little bit later. Every device has Wi-Fi, so you can connect up over broadband. More importantly, we also establish our own Wi-Fi network so we can add peripherals to the installation, and we're going to talk about why that really matters in a couple slides as well. And then everyone has an Ethernet port, so you can actually pull a physical connection over to this. All of these provide connectivity not only for alarm reporting, but for all interactive services. The significance there is with this product, you can have all 3 paths connected and ready to go and ready to provide interactive services. If any one path fails, it'll automatically switch over to the other. Or if you want to differentiate your service by reducing cost, you can actually turn the cellular off and do everything over broadband, and you can do that remotely. If the customer later wants to add cellular and is willing to pay additional for dual path communications, you go into Alula Connect, flip the switch, and you can turn cellular back on. That's an example. We call it the virtual truck roll. You can connect up over Wi-Fi or Ethernet. If there's an issue, they put in a new router and change their password, and they called in and said, my security system can't talk anymore. You're able to actually turn on cellular, connect up over cellular, change the Wi-Fi credentials, and you can leave cellular running or disconnect it again. That's the level of flexibility we bring. It's enabled through the Bat Connect product, and it's enabled through the Alula platform. And these are all things that we don't see elsewhere in the market from a competitive standpoint, and it gives our partners the flexibility to really compete in today's new IoT connected home market.
Absolutely. And the other thing you're not going to see a lot in the market is a 5G ready communicator. You talked about that virtual truck roll. We want to save you a truck roll when it comes to that 4G sunset that we all know is eventually going to happen. So now is the time to save yourself that time and save yourself that money by getting a 5G ready communicator. Alula is one of the only ones in the market that can offer that. There's some other things that we're the only ones that can offer, and Dave, why don't you take us through some of those things?
Well, I think I talked a little bit early on about cost of ownership, Kevin, and we try to make this very simple. So anybody who's been installing communicators knows that whenever you hook one of these devices up, you have to go into the panel and figure out what program settings do I need to change the panel to so that it will accept this communicator and start to pass information the way I want. Well, guess what? We know what those commands are, and we program them right into the Connect Plus. When you hook it up, it automatically knows to check and change certain settings on the panel so that we can operate That ensures that you're going to have an accurate installation. It saves time, it saves money, and it gives you the opportunity to use a broader range of technicians who might not have a lot of experience in this space. And we know in the world of sunsets, finding technicians to cover all these installs we all have to do is going to be tough. This simplifies it. I talked about being able to add new RMR and help cover the costs and reduce attrition with your customers. You're going to find with Bat Connect, you can add a 7-inch touchscreen to any of these systems. In the world of Concord, Concord was launched and it had the ability to have voice feedback if you bought an extra module called a phone interface and voice module in the day. But it was a secondary add-on device that would provide voice feedback. Our touchpads add voice feedback. Customized zone names, arming levels, all of that is done right in our 7-inch touchscreen. This can be added on as soon as you put a Bat Connect onto a Concord or any other panel we support. Now you've given a facelift to that entire system. With a touchscreen, you like to be able to see video. You can add a camera. This increases your RMR. That camera can be viewed on the touchpad. It can be viewed on the app. These are examples of not just addressing a sunset issue, but you're taking a product you might have installed 5, 10, 15 years ago. You're giving it a new modern user interface, voice feedback, visual feedback, and a new interactive app that is more responsive than any other interactive app in the market. That's the type of product that's going to help you keep your customers longer and increase RMR. So all of these are really trying to drive not only reducing your attrition, but increasing your RMR. And you see we stand behind our products with a 5-year warranty. We know their quality. You need to know their quality. We're going to be there for you as your partner.
Yeah, that's the best warranty in the business. A lot of companies only do 2 or 3 years. We do 5. We stand behind our engineering, absolutely. I was going to ask you though, Dave, back in those Concord days, were a lot of people putting in video doorbells back then?
Yeah, I think we all know that wasn't the case. We had this little company that's now part of Amazon that I think helped create a lot of interest in that space over the past few years. But I tell you what, we're visual animals. We all like to see video, and cameras become a huge upsell. And if you're going to go out and service any of your customers, they're probably going to ask you about the ability to add that if they don't have that already. And these are the things that you need to make sure your partner, your service partner is able to deliver for you, and not only on new installs, but on these older installs as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just remarkable to me that we're now being able to add these video doorbells to a product that you put into the market many moons ago at a different company. But it points out the ability to upgrade these systems and to add technology. You don't have to put in the video doorbell at the time that you put in the Bat Connect on that Concord 4. You could come back a year or 2 later and add a video doorbell. So you could keep that customer going. You can add additional touchpads. All of these can happen after the install in future selling opportunities. So Dave's career here kind of illustrates how much things can change in 10 or 15 years and how much you can really add to those old systems. And, we know there's other sunset solutions in the market. We see the advertisements as well. And when we were crafting our sunset rebate and our solution, we looked at the competition and we made sure to give you the best deal possible. Dave, take us through our thinking there and how we're able to offer such a better deal.
Well, anytime there's a sunset, in general, this is just considered a cost. You're not finding new business. You're spending money to try to keep the business you've already sold. We know that that's a challenge. And so we crafted, basically our sunset program is built around a service holiday. You get 18 months of service credited when you activate a device under our sunset program. What does that do? That basically pays for the Bat Connect. So it's a $99 or less product with a 5-year warranty that's 5G ready. It's leading edge technology. In addition, it's bringing Ethernet and Wi-Fi capability, and it won't cost you a dime when you activate it under our sunset program. Why do we do that? We do that because we know that, number one, you need to be able to operate and have partners that are going to help you be successful in running your business. And we know that sunset business is not the type of business that you wake up every day and are excited to go get. So we're trying to find a way to have you deal with the challenges that you're facing, but still have an opportunity to really bring your customers to that next level. Because if you go out and visit and replace a cellular radio and the whole system performs the same way it did when you started, that's not a very exciting experience. But if you can go in and have an opportunity to say, oh, while I'm here, why don't we put in a 7-inch touchscreen? Why don't we add a doorbell camera? Why don't we put a bullet camera out there? You're satisfying your customer. That transaction and sale can help cover the cost of your sunset deal, and you're bringing technology that's going to carry forward for many, many years because it's 5G ready. These are the types of things that we think you need to have in order to be successful, and we're delivering that through the Alula platform.
Yeah, David, I just really ask people out there to look beyond the price that you pay at the counter. I mean, there's so much more to it. You really need to look at that monthly service plan. And I'm going to tell you, we compete more favorably than our competition there. You need to look at that 5G readiness and whether you're going to get charged again for a 4G sunset and have to buy another product. You do have to look at that warranty that Dave pointed out. That's 5 years of protection, so you do know that is covered. And so it's easy to have what looks like a good deal at the counter, but it's the total cost of ownership that we're concerned with here, making sure that you have the best deal over the lifetime of the product and over the lifetime of the account. And that's what we're trying to point out here in this chart. But we also have our partner program. And so, Dave, talk about all the great resources that we make available to all of our Alula partners.
Yeah, anybody, we're 100% focused on the professional channel, as you mentioned at the onset, Kevin. And if somebody's coming and becoming an Alula dealer, an Alula partner, we recognize you need to have the tools to be successful. We've created, and Kevin, this is largely through your team and the whole marketing group at Alula here, we've built out a partner resource center, tools that give you the opportunity to update your website with images and videos and content that show the Alula experience, that help you position your company and your services to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. It's brochures that can be custom branded, videos that can be custom branded. We have online training tools. If you think of the cost of bringing on a new service provider, maybe some new equipment into the mix, we recognize you need images, marketing materials, messaging, training, and all of these elements to help you be successful. We have resources that can engage with you, and provide training services. We can do it remotely. We do it on site. I know this past year has been a little challenging, but because of that, we've also built online coursework that actually goes through videos and tests to validate that your technicians have received the education that they need. We can, it's basically a certificate-based course that can all be done online. And the videos that are created from a marketing perspective talk about the values that we've been discussing here in this entire webinar about how video and a consistent user interface and the speed and responsiveness of the network to any commands that you're doing and to any notification that the system is enabling. All of these benefits are brought forward in a way that you can bring your brand out to market, that you can reach your customers and your prospects, and you can put your brand first in everything that we do. And the tools, I think, are incredible, and we're continuing to build them out every week and every month. So it's a living, breathing platform that we believe is going to lead to success for you to become an Alula partner.
Yeah, if you haven't been to the Partner Resource Center this week, you don't know what you've been missing. We're updating it every week with new content, and we've got a lot of great sunset-focused content. This is a once-in-a-decade opportunity, and so we want to make sure you have all the tools you need, from installation guides, but also that marketing material so you can make sure to reach those customers and use this opportunity for what it is, to upgrade those accounts and to lock in those accounts, prevent the attrition, and continue forward into the 5G era. So, Dave, we covered a bit of material there. Would you be willing to stick around, answer some questions, maybe even talk a little bit more about those old Concord days?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And like I said, if we have a bunch of Interlogix people on here, well, let's talk about the Simon panel as well, because that's another one we can bring into the fold. And in this case, you can almost have a self-installed. Just open the door, pop a radio in, close the door. Again, a free radio, and you'll be up and running. So let's have a conversation about the whole Interlogix world and kind of reminisce a little bit.
Yeah, we're open to all those questions. So, all right, Dave, let's get to it. Okay, guys, thank you all for joining us. Dave, are you on the line?
I am here.
Okay, well, we've got a few questions we're going to go through. First one comes to us from Ryan. So we talk about the Concord 4, but is the Bat Connect able to work with previous Concord products?
Yeah, well, you know, we kind of talked about Bat Connect is a universal communicator, so we can do direct bus connection on a wide range. I highly recommend on our website, some of our distribution partners have these as well, our compatibility chart. We cover all of that, and for full interactive bus control, we have the Concord 4 and beyond. We can do alarm signaling and key switch arming capabilities on previous generations of Concord and the Concord Express. I think the biggest difference on some of those, if you're familiar with the early days of Concord, they required an automation module was a device you could add in, and oftentimes they couldn't support more than one. Well, they can't support more than one automation device, and that's one of the things that we like to join the bus as. So that creates some conflicts, and when we join it, some of the models never supported that device, like the Concord Express. So those are some of the barriers we have. We can support it, though, for alarm signaling. We can do key switch arming. We can do interactive controls from that standpoint, and then full interactive controls with user code changes, zone name changes, and full bus connection on Concord 4 and beyond.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. Next question comes to us from Brad. Brad's asking about Simon panels in the field. They've got a number of Simon panels installed, and they're wondering if Bat Connect can save those Simon panels.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal way to do a communicator in any of the self-contains is to put a radio that's right inside the housing itself. And so we have the Connect XT, which is the same cellular technology radio. It can mount right inside the housing. Basically open the door, you can pull, if there's already a cell card there from one of our interactive competitors, you can pull that out, put our device in, and we actually have videos that demonstrate how to do that available. You don't even have to power the device down, although I think most would, but it fires up and you have full interactive control on that device. So we support any of the Simon XT, XTI. They even came out with an XTI 5, I think, right before the Interlogix shutdown, and we can support all of those different offerings.
Excellent. Now, we have a question here about 5G. You know, we talk about this being a 5G-ready communicator. Is it currently on 4G? And if so, how will it eventually migrate to 5G?
Oh yeah, this is fun to talk about, because we've all, if you've been in this industry a while, we faced a couple of different sunsets, and generally what happens with cellular carriers, why do they sunset technology? They get new technology that delivers more bandwidth. These networks, you know, it used to be just phone calls. It turned into, you know, emails, and now it's data and streaming and all kinds of higher end entertainment that you need to do or expect to do over the networks. And as that increases, they come out with new technologies that have higher bandwidth. One of the things they've done now in the cellular standards groups is they've defined multiple categories of communications. You know, category 0 is your basic full function. We're operating in what's called category M1, sometimes called LTE-M. There's different names it's known as, but it's driven not by the carriers, not by Verizon or AT&T, but by the Cellular Standards Committee. And so category M1 operates in the LTE spectrum, so it's going to LTE towers, but it's defined as the low bandwidth application where that spectrum is going to remain intact all the way through into the 5G world. So In the security industry, we don't need a lot of data. We don't need to run, YouTube or stream video content for entertainment purposes. We're doing arming, disarming, activity control, all of that type of functionality. We can operate at lower bandwidth. That gives us the benefit of being able to be further from the tower, because if we don't need as much data, we can be further away. And it operates in LTE, and will also those towers will be available and carried in as a portion of the 5G spectrum. So that's kind of the story behind it. And in addition to carrying over into 5G, the radios use less current. So when you put one of our communicators on the bus, it looks more like a keypad than it does a cellular radio, which allows us to fit more systems as well.
Excellent. Now, a couple quick questions on the Sunset have come in. The first one is, can you get credit for replacing competing communicators, so NAPCO and other communicators from other brands, or do you only get that credit for replacing an Alula communicator?
I'll even go a little step beyond that. So you can get credit for replacing an Alula communicator, another brand's communicator, or even a phone line. A lot of customers, a lot of people are shutting off their landlines that were used for years for alarm reporting. As that happens, their security systems become dead. So we see a lot of those replacements as well. Any of those become opportunities for participation in the Sunset program.
Yeah, and as we talk about participation in the Sunset program, we've got a Canadian customer. We've got our great Canadian customers. Thank you so much. And they're asking if they are eligible for these Sunset savings or if it's only the United States.
We're in Minneapolis. Canada's just our next door neighbor. We have to include them in everything we do. So yeah, this works for any of our North American customers. We're looking forward to. Hey, this is all about a partnership. We talk about, we don't have customers, we have partners, and we like to hear from you. We like to get your ideas, understand your challenges, and one of the challenges is how can you address these Sunset challenges that we all face, and do it in a profitable and a way that moves us forward. And we're trying to give you the tools to do that, both in the product, the services, as well as the little financing programs we're developing here.
Okay, the next question is from John, and it's about how to buy it. So Dave, which distributors carry the Bat Connect? Can you find it in ADI, Annixter, AlarmMax? Who has it?
Well, you named a lot of great ones. We work with our distribution partners, both regional and national footprint. All of our communicators are widely stocked and widely carried throughout the whole industry. So what I'd suggest is, if you're new to Alula, we'll get you in touch with your salesperson. We'd like to understand, what's your business need, what do you need to buy, and who do you buy it from? And if it's not already on the shelf, we can work with the branches that you need to make that happen. But I think if you go knock on any distributor door, you're going to find plenty of Bat Connect sitting on the shelves.
And speaking of that, Dave, Todd has a question. Is there a marking on the box that tells you the Concord 4 compatibility is there? How do we make sure that we get one of these Bat Connects that works with Concord 4?
Boy, I wonder if that's our Todd. That sounds like something he'd ask. Good news on all of our products. I think we mentioned we do automatic firmware upgrades. So as we come out with new features, you get access to all those new features, including support for new panels and devices. So as you power that device up, it will automatically get the latest firmware, which has that support in it. Anything you have in your trucks, on your shelves, or anything at our distribution partners will be Concord ready. And we put, every day it'll check in for new features and capabilities for not only that device, but also for any touchpads that you might add to the system. We continually innovate, and we make sure that technology gets out to you and your customers.
And this last question comes just from Richard. I promised him I'd address this in the chat. Richard commented on the LED keypad. Originally, we were going to do an LED keypad webinar. We're going to do that in 2 weeks. But Dave, could you give us a sneak preview of what we're going to talk about in that LED keypad webinar, when that product is coming to market, and what we all need to know about it?
Yeah, this is, so the LED keypad is a new user interface we have coming for our Connect Plus product family. That's our own panel. Everything you saw in the webinar from an app and from video and all the capabilities can be done on the Connect Plus system as well. And we have the LED keypad. That sounds boring when you hear it as an LED keypad. Okay, those have been around for a while. We've really taken this to a new level on a couple of fronts. First off, it can be either table or wall mounted. I have one sitting here. When it's table mounted, it has a strong base just like we have on our touchpad, where you can operate the system without it sliding around. You can also mount it on a wall. The wall mount fits over a single gang electrical box, so it's an easy install whether it's new construction, and easy and clean install whether new construction or retrofit. It can be powered off of a transformer. It also has a terminal block, so if you're putting it where you've run wires in the wall, very easy access to install it there and power it off of those. But most importantly, it can also run for a full year on battery power. So either battery powered or full, AC powered wall or table mount. And then from a user interface, it carries the same icons through as our app, so it's very easy to operate. And then we've taken the LEDs and we created a really innovative status bar across the top. Similar to if any of you have Alexa or Amazon Echo type of devices with a little LED ring around the top, we have that same status bar. We're able to use that to provide a lot of feedback, including countdown, entry, exit, timer types of situations, and it's a full color feedback where we can change colors based on arming level. So from across the room or right in front of the device, you can see full status, easy status, and it's got a real high-tech look. And then we brought all of the capabilities in our touchpad where you can configure that to be quiet if it's in a bedroom, have quiet hours. All of these things are features that are built into this device. Again, for the Concord or for the Connect Plus product family, it'll be coming here. We're going to start taking orders in May and shipping in June. And like I said, I've had one on my system now at home for a while. I've got one sitting in my office here, getting great feedback, and I look forward to having that hit the streets as well.
Yeah, Dave, I've got one myself, so I'm so excited to share it all with you guys in 2 weeks in that webinar. So we'll be sending out those registration emails shortly. I hope you guys will all sign up. I hope to see you all back here for that. I just want to bring it back for one final Bat Connect question we have here. Dave, so the Bat Connect, how easy is it to install? How long will I be on site? And who can I call if I run into any trouble?
Well, the Bat Connect, we're getting great reviews on installation time, and we've done a few things to make it easier. I think we highlighted, number one, when you connect it up to whatever panel you're connecting it up to, we automatically detect which panel family that is. We will change any key settings we need in the panel in order for us to operate. So it's basically self-programming and self-identifying on what system exists. We've even done a few things. If any of you come from the Honeywell world, I know this is an Interlogix format, but Honeywell radios had these little quick connect bus wires that they would attach. You'd normally put a little conduit right on the top of the can, and you'd pull their little connector down. We put that same connector on our Bat Connect, so you can just unplug one radio, plug it into the other. Our goal here is to allow people to get in and out in a half an hour, and have that system up and running, and to do it reliably without programming mistakes. Or if you're running in doing a lot of different types of panels, you don't have to remember all the settings because we do that for you. So it's all built around fast install and very proactive remote management tools as well, so that you can keep tabs on that once it's up and running.
All right, that'll do it for us. Dave, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to talk.
Thank you, and I look forward to the next chat.
That'll be in 2 weeks when we'll be talking about the LED keypad. So I hope to see you all there and on future Alula webinars. Goodbye.